Hello everyone. Friends, today we will be discussing in the topic of Northeast insurgency, linkage between cross-border terrorism or whatever you want to say, you can see that. So now in this topic we will concentrate today in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, when you see the map of Arunachal Pradesh, in the north it is conquered, or it has boundaries with China. It has boundaries with China in the north. In the east it has boundaries, and in the south it has boundaries with Assam. In the east it has boundaries with Myanmar or Burma, you can say. Friends, northeast India, especially when it comes to Arunachal Pradesh, it mostly is related with the international issue exclusively because China has been claiming the most of the Arunachal Pradesh or complete Arunachal Pradesh, as it considers it as a part of southern Tibet. And recently, when it comes to the news, when I am teaching this class in the February 2022, what exactly happened was China has been naming, even it has named in the previous years around 2017, it has named various areas in the Arunachal Pradesh in Chinese names. And even recently also in the month of January 2022, it has renamed a lot of the names of Arunachal Pradesh areas in Chinese terms to say that Arunachal Pradesh belongs to China. But fortunately and luckily, the people of Arunachal Pradesh have been so inclined towards the Constitution of India and Union of India. They are still staying with us, they are with us, and we are with them. Eventually, they are part and parcel of Union of India, and all the areas of Arunachal Pradesh are safely protected by the border forces and our Indian Army with our side. So going into the topic, my friends, insurgency in Arunachal Pradesh has a very different phase when you compare to all other states of Northeast India. The homeland insurgency or insurgency within the Arunachal Pradesh is very low. You can count one or two insurgent groups, rather than that which is not very active. Most of the insurgency within the northeast of northeastern India, exclusively Arunachal Pradesh, what we are talking now, is related with the spillover effects and of other insurgent groups. Exclusively when I say in other insurgent groups, I want to include National Socialistic Council of Nagaland, NSCN, and ULFA, United Liberation Front of Assam. These two groups have their safe havens in Arunachal Pradesh. So what exactly used to happen was, my friends, all these insurgent groups, Assam, Nagaland, all other Manipur or Mizoram based insurgent groups, they used to get their training either in you can say Burma, that is Myanmar, and sometimes they used to get training in the Bhutan region, and they used to get arms from the Bangladesh and even from the China also. So Arunachal Pradesh used to be a transit for training to the groups which go into the Bhutan. But because of close skirmishes which are done by both the Bhutanese armed forces and the Indian armed forces to counter the insurgent groups in the homeland of Bhutan, lot of insurgent groups now had to move towards the Burma for their training or any other factor, you can say. So this all was happening, and all the Arunachal Pradesh region, which is very highly hilly terrain and having Himalayans, lower Himalayas in those regions, very harsh forest, have made lot of safe havens to operate in that region. So that's why, my friends, rather than homegrown, it is mostly from other insurgent groups which made it as a transit, as a safe haven, what not you want to say. Arunachal Pradesh is spread over 83,743 square kilometers in northeastern India, has hailed until recently as the adobe of peace. However, state is gradually being affected by the insurgent groups. Neither the state government nor the center have taken the stock of situation nor drawn up the action plan to arrest the downslide. No, neither the state government is thinking about that, nor the central government. Now it's a time for them to think. Because of Chinese aggression, recently even Arunachal Pradesh person or citizen of India have been abducted by the Chinese Liberation Army at the border area when they went to collect few of the plants which are used in medicine in that region. The only case of indigenous insurgent movement in Arunachal Pradesh was the rise of Arunachal Dragon Force (ADF), which have re-enlisted as East India Liberation Front in 2001. This is the only example, Arunachal Dragon Front. Some other institutions also you might say, like National Liberation Council of Tani land, that is nothing but having a separate country or a separate what you say legislature or constitution for their own for Tani land. Tani land is nothing but the Arunachal, whole Arunachal they consider the Tani land or Tani people. The outfit remained active in the Lohit, the previous output, before being neutralized by the state police. National Liberation Council for Tani land seeks to establish a separate nation in the northeast India known as Tani land for the Tani people. This most recent active was shooting out attack in the neighboring Assam province. So the indigenous insurgent movements have only been a fraction of problem that Arunachal Pradesh has to come to encounter. A variety of factors including the geography, continuancy with Myanmar and ethnic similarities among the residents in some Arunachal Pradesh district with the locals in Nagaland have been the reasons why insurgency outfits from Assam and Nagaland have exploited the state for their activities. When I want to say you, my friends, when it comes to the Naga issue, because I came back to the map of Arunachal Pradesh, because I just want to say the border 3 districts of Nagaland, this you can see, okay, Lalding, okay, Tirap and Changlang. If I am pronouncing wrong, I am sorry. These 3 districts are a part and parcel of Armed Forces Special Power Act has been fully operational in these 3 districts, because the Nagaland which wants to form, the Naga insurgency which wants to form the greater Nagaland also includes the border areas of Arunachal Pradesh, which exclusively includes these 3 districts. They say the most of the people who reside in these 3 districts have close relation with the Nagas, okay, and there have been activities of extortion, kidnapping, whatever the illegal activities they perform, they are concentrated in these 3 districts. Okay, traditionally, as I said you, traditionally, southwestern districts of Tirap, Changlang in the proximity of Nagaland have been happy hunting grounds for both factions of Naga Socialistic Council of Nagaland, that is Isaac Muhiwa, or you can also say Kaplang. While the Kaplang faction, that is Naga Socialistic Council of National Socialist Council of Nagaland, Kaplang, made its first inroads into the Virgin Territory in the early 1990s, and Isaac Muhiwa faction soon made to move and carved out separate areas of influence in the district. In these areas, they imposed their own tax on the people by suffering the people a lot in that area. Okay. And I also said you that this Arunachal Pradesh region has been acting as a transit exclusively for ULFA, that is United Liberation Front of Assam. So this ULFA group, which is a very armed insurgency group based in Assam, they go training in Burma, as I told you. They used to use the state for their transit. Now they go to Myanmar, of course. Well, the movement of ULFA cadres between the easternmost district of Assam and the outfits facilitated in the Sanging division of Myanmar through Arunachal Pradesh can be traced back to late 1980s. The state's strategic importance for ULFA has grown manifold after the outfits December 2003 ouster from Bhutan following the military crackdown. Now they want to go to Myanmar. The easiest way to go to Myanmar is through these bottom 3 districts, Changlang, Tirap, those districts itself. So now they also want a ground in that region. The outfit's dependence on its 28th Battalion headquartered in Myanmar for its hit and run activities in Assam has become almost irreversible. They do damage in Assam, they run towards Myanmar as easy as possible. The ULFA cadres traversing the Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and Myanmar road had set up transit camps and safe houses in Manabhum Reserve Forest, spread over 1500 square kilometers in the Lohit district. There were also few incidences which revealed a nexus between militants and politicians, like arrest of NSC and IM militant from the residence of former Minister of Arunachal Pradesh in Itanagar. So there is also a quid pro quo going between the militants and ministers. Instances of forceful recruitments of tribal youth by the militant organizations, especially Naga Socialistic Council Kaplang, were also found in this region. A more number of youth, my friends, they are forcefully drawn into this conflict. Even China has been driving these youth to join the secret operations and etc. So the life at those border areas is very hard. So that's why government has brought various measures like border area development programs, civilian measures by interacting the border police forces to do civilian activities and to provide medical and other facilities also in the region. So in the Conference of Chief Ministers on Internal Security held in New Delhi in 2009 and attended by Prime Minister then and Home Minister, the Arunachal Pradesh government asked the centre to seal the entire stretch of 440 kilometers of India-Myanmar border along the state in order to check the movement of insurgents so that Arunachal Pradesh no longer will be a transit. So what was the impact of these insurgents coming and going, making safe havens, disturbing the peace in the region or peace of the Arunachal Pradesh, extorting the people of Arunachal Pradesh, especially the three districts, imposition of AFSPA? What is this impact? It led to lack of development, lack of infrastructure, lack of investments coming into the state. The impact of insurgency on the state has been serious. According to intelligence sources, every government employee and businessman in Tirap district is forced to pay nearly 25% of his gross income as a tax for Republic of Nagaland. In the districts of Tirap and Tanglang, branches of State Bank of India have been closed because of these insurgent groups. Extortion notes by Naga Socialistic Council of Naga, Keplang. In 2001, the operations of Oil India Limited in Changlan district were brought to an halt after Naga Socialistic Council of Isaac Muhiva. They said they want a share, demanded an amount of rupees 60 lakhs. You see, such a important, national important companies have been investing in that area for development of those people, and these groups have been opposing through their activities, illegal activities. So how come you think there will be more private investments coming into this area? They will never come. So the oil major had to pull around 130 of its technical staff from that area. So such things were happening in that area of Arunachal Pradesh. So friends, hope you have understood the various reasons of Arunachal Pradesh. I would like to continue this class. With another important state I want to say, that is Tripura. Tripura has been the most successful state when it comes to the Northeast insurgency, and probably it is the first state which get full free status from Armed Forces Special Power Act in the year 2015 itself. So Tripura model has been a successful model, and most of these Northeast states now need to understand and follow this Tripura model. So coming now, my friends, we see the great state of Tripura, which has been most peaceful state of Northeast India, which is completely three-side bordered by Bangladesh. Okay, it is completely enclosed as such as an enclave. This was a this was a princely state then. Okay, so let me tell you a brief history of Tripura. Tripura became a part of dominion of India after Maharani Regent of Tripura signed Tripura Major Agreement on September 1949. Okay, it was happy, it was peaceful. But first it was made part C state, and it got slowly it got union territory status, and it got its state status in 1972. Then in parallel with Meghalaya and Manipur, it got its status of a state. Apart from this, my friends, what exactly happened was, the Tripura was almost peaceful since its existence. When it was joined India in 1949 till the Bangladesh Liberation War happened, there was a change in demography in Tripura. As I said, Northeast is majorly it's a hub of uh, tribals. But what happened after Bangladesh Liberation War and even prior to that, there was an influx of Bengalis and Bangladeshis coming into the Tripura and settling down there. So at the time of independence, the ratio of tribals and non-tribals was 70:30. These were tribals, these were non-tribals. Okay, this was the issue at that time. But after Bangladesh Liberation War, which happened in 1971, most of the people tried to escape from Bangladesh and they entered into Tripura. This has changed the entire demography of the region, and it has led to the change in demography in the ratio of 30:70, where 70 became non-tribal population and 30 became tribal population. And tribals also thought they have been exploited and they are also deprived of the forest rights which they have been enjoying from long decades. Okay, and there was also redistribution of land which has been going on in the state. They thought it is our land and now the tribal land is being given to the non-tribals. How come this happened? This raised the insurgency in the years of 1980s and 1970s post Bangladesh Liberation War in the region of Tripura, my friends. So migration fueled discontent and demography inversion in the Tripura. The ratio of population of tribals and non-tribals, as I said you, 70:30 at the time of independence, and it changed into the favor of non-tribals later after the war has taken place. So this injustice that the non-tribals are looting the tribals, this is not fair, has led to the insurgency, as I told you. The evolution of insurgency in Tripura can be traced back to the formation of Tripura Upajit Juda Samiti, okay, Juba Samiti. Tripura Upajati Juba Samiti, Tripura Upajati Juba Samiti in 1971 it was formed. Following the Tripura National Voluntary, it was formed in 1981. But later the best or major organizations which we have to see or look into are the National Liberation Front of Tripura, NLFT, was formed in March 2nd, 1989. It was very aggressive one. Armed Wing and the National Holy Army, it has an armed wing called National Holy Army. All Tripura Tiger Force in July 1990, querying the pitch. So these two important organizations, that is National Liberation Front of Tripura and All Tiger Tripura Force, have taken over the ground in the region and they started doing insurgency or attacking the non-tribals and having the fight. So these two outfits has secessionist agenda. They wanted a separate country now. So they disputed the merger of Kingdom of Tripura with Indian Union. They demanded a sovereignty of Tripura. These were the demands of these two councils. They demanded deportation of all illegal migrants. That's why we have an issue of National Registry of Citizens. They deemed nullifying the Tripura merger agreement and restoration of land to the tribal people under the Tripura Land Reform Act 1960. So they disputed that how can you spread or how can you give away our land or our rights. So though having such an insurgency going on in the years 1980s and having a graph which has been going up and down in Tripura, so under the leadership of great Chief Minister Manik Sarkar in Tripura, the Tripura has developed into a peaceful state by following a Tripura model. The Tripura model, you see my friends, a multi-dimensional model which includes the following 6 important subjects in them. You can analyze each and them. I'll explain you how they have been operating. First is counter-insurgency operations intent on shift area domination and ascendancy. That is, first thing is to end the insurgency by attacking on insurgent groups and taking the control over the area where insurgent groups operate. This was very aggressively done by including the state police forces and even armed forces, paramilitary forces of India, and this was successfully operated. Next, psychological operations and confidence building measures were to be provided. These were taken over by Manik Sarkar ji himself. He has gone to the ground. He had been making peace walks. He went each and every place in Tripura, meeting the people, telling them that we Tripuras are one. So psychologically he has motivated by even providing them ameliorative measures, even providing them basic education, basic necessities, all things were provided. As soon as possible they even constructed infrastructure in the region. Accelerated Development Trust, exclusively in the field of health, education, infra, employment were taken up. And then management of media. See, they have been controlling the media just because you see what happens in media law. You have seen even in the case of Meghalaya, where social media, electronic media, print media have been giving the news about High Trip National Liberation Council, where they have proclaimed bans or even stopping of Independence Day events. So such events and such ideologies of insurgent groups are not to be published, and media has been used to publish such an positive ideology which reduces the insurgency and shows the good nature of the state. And next, civic action programs by security forces. We have seen AFSPA have been making a deeper scar in the body of northeastern people. To cure that scar, and not to turn that scar into an ulcer, what we have to do is to make army forces or security personnel to participate in civic action programs, CAPs, what you can call civic action programs simply. In civic action program, we have seen, my friends, even in the paramilitary forces chapter, what we have learned in the case of ITBP or in the case of Central Reserve Police Forces, all take the civil action program. What they do is they provide basic medical services, they provide mobile medical services, that is providing ambulances. They even try to construct the roads. Okay, by using the paramilitary forces, my friend, Manik Sarkar were able to expand the lifelines of connectivity. Those are roadways and railways in the region, and it was a very successful one, and the people readily accepted the presence of armed forces to protect them. Next, political process, my friends. Whenever you see politicization, even in the freedom struggle, we have seen the Congress had been consistently trying to politicize the people. Politicization is nothing but to bring even the last person in the citizenship or last person in the state to come and participate in the process of making the state. How it is done? It is done. You see, political process, it is done by including the women, by including the normal people into the gram wards or gram sabhas. Even Panchayat Raj system has been elaboratively developed. You see, even Manik Sarkar has taken the political peace marches he called. Political process initiated by Chief Minister Sarkar went a long way in dissolving the malaise of insurgency. Peace marches were organized in far-flung insurgent pockets to instill confidence in the people and display sincerity and commitment of the state towards accelerated development and prosperity for all segments of society. Micro demonstrations were made, small institutions were made, how they showed the success of these institutions. Cooperatives were encouraged, Anganwadis were made, even Mahila societies were made. See, autonomous development councils, Gram Panchayat, village councils were strengthened, they were revitalized and they were legitimized. Okay. They turned the vibrant and active functions as local government models. This brought all communities, notably the tribals, in particular into the development stream, bringing about a sustainable empowerment and sense of fulfillment. So, what exactly is the present status of the state of Tripura? Friends, Tripura has been the most peaceful state, about I can say. Okay, but there are few other issues which are going in Tripura, minute issues which you need to know. Lot of forces like National Liberation Front of Tripura, the people from these liberation fronts have been voluntarily giving up their arms, coming and surrender before the police and border security forces, which you can see here. You see, NLF self-commander has been surrendered in Tripura. Even 4 insurgent cadres, including the National Liberation Front of Tripura and Kangliv Yellow Kama Lup, this is a group in Manipur. Okay. Manipur, even these forces, even these people have been surrendering and giving up their arms to participate in political process and development process. So even though we have done a lot of things, there is still a demographic mismatch and people still feel there has been a historical injustice happening to them because their forest laws have been diluted and they today do not enjoy rights on the forest produce as much as they enjoyed in the previous time. So now the major issue is the governments both at the state and central level, as the forest is a concurrent list, they need to frame a better policy by carving out secured areas and rights within the forest areas to the people of Tripura who are exclusively tribals. Okay, clashes are on decline, growing the resentment among the tribals due to the restrictions on the freedom to use the forest and their nominal participation in district development. Despite impressive strides made by the state in the last decade, lack of economic opportunities and improper connectivity has made the situation fragile. Okay, we have made, but not much of economic opportunities you have, not much of skill is happening, not much of companies are coming to invest. So by infrastructure provisions, by attracting more and more companies into the state is the only way, and by creating more and more employment in the state is the only way to solve the insurgency which might rise in the state, as it is dying and we do not want it to rise and we want it to stay cool and we want it to develop only by investment in skill and development as the solution to make the state continue in its peace way. So friends, hope you come to a conclusion here. So we'll end our class here, my friends. I hope you have understood whatever I have been saying here. So thank you for watching my video, my friends. This is Nikhil from Telugu One Academy. Thank you.